Assisted suicide is a law that requires mentally competent and terminally ill adults to obtain a doctor's prescription for a lethal dose of medicine. It is currently practiced in 3 states. Oregon was the first, followed by Washington State and then Montana. The act of assisted suicide became worldly known through the illegal acts of Dr. Kevorkian. Assisted suicide has sparked great debate over moral issues. Anti-Assisted Suicide Society believes that all forms of suicide is illegal and a sin, and that people should die when their time comes. Pro-Assisted Suicide Society feels as though individuals are able to die with dignity and no longer have to bear with extreme pain. Here are a few views on assisted suicide.
Foremost, we have to stress that we have an immense compassion for people who find themselves in difficult situations, facing illness and dependence upon others. However, we must be very careful. There are very serious reasons why the law should stay as it is and why assisted suicide should not be legalised. The law on assisted suicide exists to protect the most vulnerable in society, those who may feel their life is not worth living. If assisted suicide is legalised, the right to die will all too possibly become a duty to die. How will the law protect vulnerable people from the risk of abuse by relatives acting not with compassion but with selfish motives? The sick and the elderly may find themselves feeling that they are a financial burden to their loved ones. They might feel that they would be better off dying. Imagine if assisted suicide is legalised, how easy it would be for someone to feel obliged to die. In Oregon, for example, where assisted suicide is legal, terminally ill patients Barbara Wagner and Randy Stroop were denied treatment by the hospital and were instead offered help to die, offered help to kill themselves. Euthanasia without consent, or where consent cannot be given, is persistent in Holland, despite this being illegal. It is therefore a lie, which is often repeated, that regulating assisted dying by legalising it brings the practice into the open and makes it somehow better.
Alarmed.
I think the pressures coming from the media, a very well-funded, carefully orchestrated campaign by Dignity in Dying, the pro-euthanasia lobby, and clever use of a few exceptional cases which have been employed really to mould public opinion. I think a lot of Christians are confused about euthanasia, and it's not surprising when they're seeing these very difficult cases often dramatised on television. There's a huge need out there for educating Christians about what the Bible teaches, what the dangers of euthanasia will be, what's available in terms of good palliative care, and really getting Christians up to speed. The church really has been largely silent on this issue, and that's a huge tragedy, and we've got a huge responsibility as CMF to help rectify that.
If this law on assisted suicide is changed, even with strict limitation as we are so often told, who knows what unintended consequences there will be. Legalising assisted suicide is unnecessary, it is dangerous, and it is wrong. Legalising it will lead to feelings of acute abandonment, bad medical practice, and a disregard for the innate value.
Do you know what the 9th Amendment is in the Constitution? I'm born with every right to pick my nose when I want, to carry cocaine in my pocket when I want, to smoke marijuana when I want, as long as I don't hurt anybody or threaten them.
You already conducted many physician-assisted
But I didn't know about the 9th Amendment.
So
I just knew instinctively that it was not a crime. It's a medical service. It's a medical service. Medical. A doctor can do things that other citizens cannot do because of their expertise. I'm a physician. I see suffering. The patient's suffering. He requests it. I talk to him. We talk to the family. Wait a while. We go back and talk again. He still requests it. I see he's suffering. Other doctors don't cooperate with me because they're scared to death. So I have to do everything secretly. And they say, oh, look at him, he sneaks around. Use the van. Because I couldn't find a place to do it. I'm a physician. You don't just extend life.
No regrets.
What? I look like I regret it? What's wrong with you? You regret it because you're scared of prison. I don't. And I feel proud to be the one doing it.